This is everything that I prepped the night before my garden party. My goal is to use as many ingredients from my garden as possible. First step, I prep the radishes for my butter mountain. One of the things that I like to do when I'm hosting is go on Pinterest and find inspiration images for all of the dishes that I'm making. And then I got to juicing and zesting all the calamansi for a crepe cake that I was going to be making. And I think I finally have mastered my sourdough recipe. Let me know if you want to see an in-depth video on this. I made 2 loaves for the party. And in the midst of all the prep, my husband had a special request for chocolate chip rye cookies, and I could not refuse. One of my fears is not having enough food for a party, so I always make sure that I have mixed nuts and spiced olives on hand ready to go no matter what. Because if all else fails, at least they have something to nibble on. I use some garden herbs and citrus just to make them a little bit more fancy. And then I prep my herb and white bean dip. Pro tip for storing herbs is just put them on the countertop in a jar of water. Putting them in the fridge actually doesn't help them last any longer. So after getting the dip, nuts, and olives prepped, I then moved on to my crepes. Admittedly, I'm not a crepe connoisseur, but I felt like the delicate nature of a crepe would go so well with a calamansi whipped cream mascarpone sort of filling. And while the batter rested, I made sure to clean up as I went. I once went to an event hosted by Nancy Silverton, and she said that she doesn't trust people that don't clean as they go while they cook, and that kind of just stuck with me. And then I began to question why I decided to make 30 crepes when making like a simple vanilla cake probably would have been easier. You'll have to stay tuned to see the final product because I think it was well worth it. Stay tuned to see how this all comes together, and the rye chocolate chip cookies were well deserved.